Hello, and welcome to the Mighty Mecha Nerd review show. I know it's been gone for a long time, but I wanted to get back into this and really start doing it for real this time. And we're going to be examining something that is near and dear to my heart. This is the first look at Voltron Legendary Defender, the new Netflix original show reboot slash remake of the original Voltron, which was something that I remember watching as a young child. It's one of the very first giant robot animes that I even watched. Watching a new one is quite an amazing experience. Seeing this new and with improved graphics is quite nice. Now, this reboot of Voltron is quite different from the original, but still great. What I watched, what I'm doing my first look at, even though this has been on for couple weeks, it's been on Netflix, but it's what I've decided to start back up with. Um, but but this is where I'm going to start back up. So this is or just remake, or retelling. It's quite different. I did in general like it. It's the first episode is it's an hour and 8 minutes, so it's like a movie. It seems to be the first 3 episodes put into one big long movie-like experience, which the way they're paced, it's definitely made to be a movie and not to actually be 3 episodes. If I watched it as 3 episodes, it'd probably be kind of strange, because Voltron doesn't even show up till the end. Oh, spoilers. Of course, there's going to be spoilers for the movie. Obviously, that's why you're looking at this. Like I said, it's Netflix original. It's made by the people who did Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra. I think it's some of the same writers, and it's the same studio. And it really looks it and feels like it. It's got the same sort of feeling. Some of the characters look like they could come straight out of Korra, no problem. And even the original Avatar, no problem. The faces, the movement, everything is just screams Studio Mir? Studio Mir, I think that's it. If I'm wrong, correct me, I don't care. This is an informal look at the first episode of a show. I didn't really do too much research, just trying to do this from my memories of it and the original. Like I said, it's all on Netflix. The whole season is there. Um, but let me talk about the show itself. Um, Now, it has a good start. It starts well, you know. First thing you know, there seems scientists on Pluto showing that we have travel to the outside of at least our own solar system, and they go on to talk about that actually, and apparently we're only just starting to get out there, so that's a bit different. The whole thing just starts, you know that it's not OG Voltron. It's different. It's very different. It's not that. It's entirely its own beast, with just inspiration from the original. Because as soon as you meet the cast, you've got Lance, Hunk, Pidge, and Keith, and then Shiro, which is interesting, because he wasn't really in the first one. Well, he was, because he's the redone Sven, but with the Japanese name of the character. And that's something that's kind of interesting, is that they didn't just, it's not just a remake of Voltron. It's actually a bit of a remake of Go Lion, which was Voltron was based on. They take a bunch of things from that, like Zarkon. The Empire isn't what it was called in the original, but it's the Galra Empire, which is what they called it in Go Lion. So there's some interesting Go Lion things inside of this show. So they just took both of those. But yeah, we meet the crew, and they're kind of like what you remember. Hunk's a big guy. Pidge is a little tiny and technological. Lance is the second. Is secondary to Keith. He considers Keith his rival. He's that traditional character. Keith is the hothead. But then we have Shiro in charge. Character that I don't really remember from Voltron that much, except for that he, got killed in Go Lion, and Voltron he got incapacitated and sent away. Yeah. Americanization and localization and censorship. Fun times. But they have this new character in Shiro who just wasn't even in the original Voltron, not really. And it seems like he's going to stick around. From what I know, he does stick around. So that's kind of interesting that we have this new dynamic of this calm, older leader. Oh yeah, did I mention all the characters are cadets now? Yeah, this kind of went tropey with the misfit cadets going out and becoming the pilots of the giant robot instead of the original, which, if I remember correctly, they were professionals in their military and got sent out to do this. They weren't, some young kids that were just misfits and didn't really know what they were doing, even though they're pretty decent at what they're doing, but they're still just kids and kind of odd characters. And an interesting thing about them becoming pilots is that the Lions have to accept them. I don't remember if that was in the original. It sounds like it might have been, but I can't remember. They had to go off and find all the Lions, and that was good. Show that they deserve the Lions. That's a good thing to have in a giant robot anime. And the Lions apparently talk to them in their heads. I don't remember that from the first one, but I like it. It's fine. So they get to the planet. They get to the same planet. The lion was on Earth. The blue lion is on Earth, and Lance finds it. They find it. It accepts Lance, and they ended up on the planet from the original. And they wake up Princess Allura and the doofy Charon character. I can't remember his name because he was kind of the comic relief, and I didn't really care. It was just kind of funky. Cool thing! They brought back the mice. I'm so happy that they brought back the mice, not as weird robots like they did in Voltron Force, since they're actually, mice. So I'm glad to have that back. I liked them. They were cute, and they helped out. In this. Like I said, I liked all the characters. I like the new Princess Allura. I'm strange by the fact that they're kind of got elf ears going on. Elves as aliens. How original. Pointy ears. Yeah. Oh well, they look fine. The characters were good. I like the new Princess Allura. She's a nice character. I'm weirded out by the fact that she's not a pilot. I would love to see her at least getting even a one-off chance of piloting one of the Lions. That would be cool. But it is what it is. I like her new thing is sort of like an overall commander, and she pilots the castle. She controls the castle. That's okay. I like that. Then we got Zarkon. We just saw him a couple times. We saw Hagar very briefly. Hagar looked a bit different. Zarkon looks sort of how you'd expect him, kind of reptilian and purple, and that's what you want. Evil Overlord. He looks good. I don't know what to say. You didn't really see very much of him in the beginning. Saw a new character, underling, instead of, I guess, no Prince Lotor, which is kind of strange. Maybe later, maybe in another season. Maybe they gotta defeat Zarkon first, and then out of nowhere will come his son to be the new villain. I don't know. Oh, interesting thing about Zarkon is apparently he makes an odd reference to the lion having Voltron having previously been his. That's different. We'll have to see where that leads. I like that. Um, oh, and talking about king-like characters, we have Alora's father, um, who's dead again. But instead of, as I remember, him being a ghost and her being able to talk to him, apparently he uploaded his brain into an AI system so she can go talk to him into a hologram holodeck place whenever she wants now. Cool. I'm fine with that. It's less mystical. That was sort of actually an overall feel. It didn't feel as mystical as the original, just sort of like technology that's verging into mystical rather than being the mystical powers of Voltron. And they mentioned that Voltron's and Allura are somehow connected. I don't know. That's interesting. Um, Talking about Voltron and the Voltron Force, who are referred to as Paladins, they get armor, which is now actually color coordinated to their respective lion. And then they got these interesting weapons. And I'm trying to remember or recall what the weapons were called, but it's fine. They're like little handheld things that transform into a unique weapon depending on who you are. And so everybody's got a unique one. Shiro doesn't get one though, because his is apparently was lost. However, he has that cool bionic arm and it can do some cool power stuff. So that's cool. Um, and actually, since they talking about that bionic arm, and their armor in general, I like how the characters are designed in the armor. It makes sense that the armor goes with things in their paladins. That's kind of cool. But the arm and the way people react to Shiro, who was apparently blacked out and can't remember anything about. Oh yeah, he was in captivity. The Empire kidnapped him and Pidge's brother and father because they were on Pluto doing some scientific mission, so they got captured. And apparently, they see some people who saw Shiro while he was in captivity. They referred to him as like the Great One and stuff like that. The way they refer to him, I'm starting to wonder if he was a gladiator, because they showed. I remember in the original Voltron that the Empire had gladiator pits. Um, so I'm wondering if that's what happened to him, and that's where he got his spiffy bionic arm and bionic arm powers. Um, so I like the overall design of the characters and how they look. And then there's Voltron, the new Voltron, and the new lions. They look great. They're really reminiscent of the original. They give you that feeling. They're 3D animated, I think. They're kind of strange. Don't look like the Voltron Force Voltron. It's its own beast that looks much more like the original, while at the same time looking different. It does have a kind of a case of old man face on Voltron himself, but I don't care. He looks good. He looks great. The combination sequence was really good and reminiscent of the original. They didn't use the original catchphrases, but I'm not surprised. Maybe they will later, because it was sort of just like a half dash. They didn't know what they were doing, transformation. So it would make sense if they didn't know all the things that they were supposed to know to do it the proper way. Um, but I like how Voltron looks. I like how it was animated. I don't really want to give away what exactly happened, but basically, they end up going to the planet. They have to find all the components of the lions and bring them back to wake up the black lion, which is in the castle. So they go out and go to their respective lions, and shenanigans ensue. Um, and they have to go get the red lion, which the bad guys have. Then they get it, they form Voltron, beat the bad guys for the episode, and it ends. It's just that sort of simple thing. You have to really you watch it and you'll enjoy it. I mean, you could probably spoil the heck out of this episode and you still get enjoy it, because the enjoyment's more in watching than in the plot for this, because it's just a setup. It's just a big setup for the what's coming, and almost drags a little bit, but not really. Um, Overall, I like it. Only one thing irritated me, and that was Hunk. Hunk had all these intestinal distress problems, and it was really irritating after a while because he just kept on having them. He'd be sick from flying. In the beginning, they show him in a simulator, and he pukes into like the into an engine compartment, and it's like, oh, yay, this is gonna get irritating really fast, isn't it? But then they do show that he's really intelligent, and he's also like a tech wizard, just like um, Pidge. So apparently we have two tech wizards. I don't really remember him being a tech wizard before, but I like it. It gives him more depth. Um, so yeah, we have him as a tech, and the two tech wizards, Hunk and Pidge. Shiro's the leader, calm, stoic. Keith, hothead, quit the academy that everybody else was in well, because he was feeling something from Voltron. So there was some mystical things. Lance, what do you expect? He's like that Blue Ranger archetype, the person behind what would be that archetype, except for he's the rival to Keith rather than Shiro, who seems to be the actual leader in this situation. Um, but yeah, all the characters are good. That one thing was irritating about Hunk. Um, Overall, liked it. It's a good rendition. I hope it stays really good. Um, Pretty faithful to the source material, kind of different, but more modern. There was some of the modern things about it were kind of cliche, but I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the animation. Um, Nothing really bad to say. Um, can't wait to see more. Um, Go Voltron Force. Um, all right, Mighty Mecha Nerd signing out.